Hey everyone, it's Angela from the Codependent Doctor. Before we dive into today's episode, I have some exciting news for you. I'm almost finished my codependency recovery workbook. It's called Enough as I Am, and it's a guided resource to help you work through codependency, people-pleasing, and setting boundaries at your own pace, all in the comfort of your own home. It will be available on Amazon in the next couple months, so if you'd like to be notified when it's ready, you can sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the show notes, and I'll be sure to keep you posted. Now, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Today, I'm sending you a special bonus episode to kick off May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, I know we hear the words mental health a lot, but we don't always talk about what it actually looks like in our day-to-day lives. It's not just about having a diagnosis like anxiety or depression. Mental health is about how we take care of ourselves, how we manage stress, how we set boundaries, how we rest, and how we speak to ourselves when things get really hard. So this month, I'm going to be releasing a few shorter episodes. These are going to be things that have made a difference in my life, and it might just make a difference in yours as well. Welcome to the Codependent Doctor, a weekly podcast focusing on all things codependency. Are you struggling to love yourself, feeling burnt out, or having trouble forming loving and meaningful relationships? I can help you heal from the past and move forward with healthier selves, healthier relationships, and healthier, more fulfilling lives. Join me as we reclaim your authentic self. I'm your host, a family doctor and fellow codependent, Dr. Angela Downey. We can do this together. Here we go. Hello to all my wonderful podcast listeners. I'm Dr. Angela Downey, and today I'm sending you a special bonus episode because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think it's something that we don't talk about enough in a real, everyday kind of way. I hope you're all doing really well, and I'm going to start off by sharing something that went really well for me this week. So my boss came into the clinic earlier this week. She doesn't normally come in. And the day before, she sent me a message saying that she wanted to talk with me, and she confirmed that I was going to be there. And right away, my lizard brain, that most primitive and reactive part of my brain, it totally flipped out. I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I am totally getting fired. I had to stop myself, like consciously stop my mind from spiraling. I had to remind myself that I'm happy with the way that things are going at the clinic right now. I'm doing really good work. And if for some reason, if what I'm doing isn't aligning with what the company wants, and if I do get fired, then I'm going to find a solution for that because there's always a solution. So I told myself that I shouldn't worry about this until I actually know what's going on. And as it turns out, it ended up being an amazing conversation. She told me that she loves having me at the clinic, and she even brought up my podcast and my book that's coming up. She said we should talk more about how we can incorporate all of that to help better support our patients who come through the doors. It was a really positive conversation, and I am so glad that I didn't lose a night's sleep panicking over it. This is a really good reminder that even when I'm feeling good day to day, my lizard brain, it still kicks in from time to time. And when it does, I have to actively manage my thoughts, and I need to catch myself before I spiral. I feel really good overall, but that doesn't mean that my mental health is going to take care of itself. It's something that I always need to stay aware of, and it's something that I'm always needing to tend to, even on my good days. Usually we only think about mental health when something's going really wrong, when we've hit a wall, when we've burnt out, or when we get a diagnosis like anxiety or depression. But mental health is so much more than that. It's not just something that you think about when you're in crisis. It's how you treat yourself every day. It's how you listen to your body, how you speak to yourself when you're really struggling, and how you move through the world. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, because we need to normalize the idea that you don't have to be falling apart to take your mental health seriously. Sometimes it's just about learning how to live with more compassion and a little less pressure. We tend to think about mental health like a light switch, right? Either you have a problem or you don't. But it's not that black and white. Mental health isn't just about whether or not you're diagnosed with something. It's about how you take care of your emotional well-being on a regular basis. It's the choices that you make in your day-to-day life. Like, how much rest do you allow yourself? How do you talk to yourself when you've made a mistake? Do you feel safe saying no, or do you panic and people please your way through everything? And here's something that I want you to hear very clearly. You don't need a diagnosis to deserve support. You don't have to hit rock bottom to start paying attention. Mental wellness isn't a checkbox, it's a practice. It's something that you tend to over time. And taking care of your mental health doesn't always look big and dramatic. Most of the time, it looks really simple. It looks like going to bed early instead of scrolling TikTok until 1 a.m. It looks like saying no to plans because you're feeling tired, even if you feel a little guilty about it. It looks like letting yourself cry and not apologizing for it. Sometimes it looks like taking a walk, a deep breath, setting a boundary, or taking a nap. I used to push through everything until my body literally made me stop. I didn't think I had permission to rest until I had totally burnt out or was sick. And by the time I did stop, I was completely depleted. So here's what I've learned the hard way. We shouldn't have to crash in order to care for ourselves. When we ignore our mental health, it just slowly chips away at us. You start feeling tired all the time. You're snappy with your kids or your partner. You stop enjoying things that used to light you up. But instead of asking what's off here, we just keep pushing through or working a little harder at it. Especially if you're the one who's always showing up for others. You're the strong one, the helper, the one who overfunctions for everyone else. It can feel unnatural, even wrong sometimes, to pause and check in with yourself. I ignored the signs for way too long. I thought if I just worked harder, helped more, gave more, that it would make me feel better. And spoiler alert, it didn't. It felt worse. And eventually I ended up so sick and burnt out and wondering, how did I let it get this far? Now, if you're someone who struggles with codependency like I have, you already know how emotionally exhausting it is. You're constantly tuned in to everyone else's needs, their moods, their reactions, and your own needs. They slowly fall to the bottom of the list. Sometimes they don't even make the list at all. And part of the healing journey has been learning how to check in with myself. Not just, what does everyone else need from me right now, but what do I need today? That question used to feel really selfish, and now it feels like survival. I'm constantly checking in with myself. Sometimes the answer is journaling, sometimes it's a 10-minute walk by myself, sometimes it's turning off my phone and taking a nap, sometimes it's taking 5 minutes to go to the bathroom instead of holding it in all day. This isn't always glamorous, but it's what I need, and I'm okay giving that to myself now. I want to talk about a myth, the myth that strong people don't need help, that if you need support, you've somehow failed, that struggling means that you're not strong enough. But I want to flip that because the truth is, strength is knowing when to ask for help. It's being able to say, I can't do this all on my own. It's vulnerability, it's honesty, it's letting yourself be human. For me, therapy was really helpful, journaling helped, talking openly about it with my friends, even if sometimes it felt a little awkward. It did help though. And rest, this is probably what helped me the most out of everything else. Mental health isn't about fixing yourself. You're not broken. You're already enough just as you are. It's about taking care of yourself. That's it. And no, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to keep showing up and taking small steps every day. And for me, that looked like saying no without explaining myself. I actually find opportunities to practice this. Pressing that send button when I haven't written a thesis about why I can't attend my friend's dog's birthday party can cause me anxiety. But I press send anyway. And lo and behold, the world doesn't fall apart just because I didn't give a huge explanation. And sometimes it looks like me taking 5 minutes to breathe when I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I let things be good enough instead of aiming for perfection. These are all small things, but they've made a huge difference in how I feel day to day. And it's a daily reminder to keep working on myself because these little tasks, they get easier and I can start working on tougher challenges as I get better at it. If you're listening to this and thinking, yep, I've been running on fumes, I want you to know that you're not alone. You don't have to wait until you crash to start caring about your mental health. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to take care of yourself. So start small and start today. And remember that mental health isn't something that you fix and forget. It's something that you tend to, like a garden. And the more that you care for it, the more that it grows. And you, my friend, are worth that care. I'm going to be trying to put out a few extra episodes in the next month for mental health awareness. I'm going to talk to you soon. Take care for now. Thank you for joining me, and I hope today's podcast resonated with you. Click like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes and to help others who might benefit. This podcast is not meant to provide medical advice and should not replace seeing your doctor for mental health concerns. If you're having a mental health crisis, please present to a hospital, call 911 or your local crisis helpline. I'll talk to you next week for another episode of The Codependent Doctor. We can do this together.